Israel claimed responsibility, targeting Syria's chemical weapons capabilities. The UN condemned the move, calling it a breach of a 1974 agreement. The Assad regime's prime minister agreed to hand over power to the rebels after Assad fled to Russia. A transitional prime minister was yet to be chosen. Rebel forces, led by an Islamist militant group, promised to name senior Assad officials wanted for torture. They declared a general amnesty for conscripts, but not volunteers. Israel's military response was swift and brutal, launching airstrikes across Syria, and deploying ground troops beyond the buffer zone. Israeli forces advanced as far as Qasim, capturing strategic positions. The village lay in the foothills of Mount Hermon, now under Israeli control. Prime Minister Netanyahu ordered the military to seize the demilitarized zone between the Golan Heights and Syria. Despite denials, Israeli troops were positioned within the buffer zone, ready to defend their borders. Explosions continued to rock Damascus, the most violent in 15 years. Israeli strikes targeted Syrian army centers and Iran-backed militias. Images showed destroyed military helicopters and vessels, evidence of the intense bombing campaign. The body of activist Mazen al-Hamada was found in a Damascus hospital. He had been a symbol of resistance, tortured by Assad's regime. Middle Eastern nations condemned Israel's actions, accusing it of exploiting Syria's turmoil to seize more land. The UN confirmed Israeli troops had entered the buffer zone, violating the 1974 agreement. Rebel forces took control of Damascus, ousting Assad. The city was calm, but the future remained uncertain. Residents expressed relief and hope for a better future, free from Assad's tyranny. Life in Damascus began to return to normal, with people resuming their daily routines. Iran called on the UN to respond to Israeli aggression, fearing an all-out regional war. The US and its allies worked to prevent Syria's chemical weapons from falling into extremist hands. The US offered a reward for information on rebel leader Abu Muhammad al-Jolani, now Syria's de facto leader. Jolani's rise to power was unexpected, his past intertwined with terrorist groups like Al-Qaeda and ISIS. As Syrians celebrated, many searched for loved ones who had disappeared under Assad's regime. Saydnaya prison, known as the slaughterhouse, became a focal point for families seeking answers. Rebels released prisoners, but rumors persisted of secret cells holding thousands more. The Assad regime's prime minister pledged to cooperate with the rebels for a smooth power transition. Israel's strikes on chemical weapons aimed to prevent them from falling into extremist hands. The US charged former Syrian intelligence officials with war crimes, highlighting the regime's brutality. The fall of Assad's regime was a blow to Russia, raising questions about Putin's influence in the Middle East. Rebels called on Assad's security forces to register with a settlement center, promising amnesty for conscripts. The rebel alliance's rapid offensive took the world by surprise, toppling Assad in just 11 days. The UN urged Israel to stop its strikes, emphasizing the need for stability in Syria. The future of Syria remained uncertain, with disparate groups vying for power and stability. As the dust settled, Syrians hoped for peace and a chance to rebuild their war-torn country.